Okay, in this video we're checking out the new HX115-HD from BetaFPV. This one here has the new RunCam Split 3 Nano, and this one here has the one with the whoop style board, not the 20x20 board, so I think it does come in two different variants. It also comes with the new 12 amp all-in-one flight controller here that I reviewed a few days ago. It's got the bigger pads for soldering all on the side. Also, the motor plugs aren't soldered on, and you have big pads for soldering on the motor wires. And this is what that board looks like. Check out that video if you want to see more details on the board, but this is what's inside the HX115. Now the motors on here are the 1105 5000 kV, so this can do 2S, 3S, or 4S. It does come with two different kinds of props. You get 3-bladed HQ, I think this is a 3x3 prop. You also get the new HQ 3x2 2-bladed prop, and they want you to use these in two different situations. They sent me these 3S 450s, and so with the 3-bladed prop you can use this on 3S, and then they have a new 450 4S battery that you can use with the 2-bladed prop. So make sure that you don't use the 4S battery, which I don't have here. With the 3-bladed props, it might exceed the amp limit on the ESCs and burn them out. So just, if you have that situation, be careful about that. I actually would recommend just flying it on the 450 3S, just to keep the weight down. I think it performs fine on this 3-bladed 3S setup. Now later on, when I do get the 450 4S batteries in, I'll go ahead and I'll show you another video where I'll have some flights with that battery in that video a bit later. So taking a closer look at the frame itself, it's a traditional X style frame, 115 millimeters motor to motor, chamfered edges, typical toothpick style here, and 3 millimeters thick, so it's pretty stiff, and I've had a few crashes already, and it's held up pretty good. It's got a nice the nice thick polycarbonate canopy. This is a really tough canopy, hard to break. You can see already a few scuff marks from some crashes. This one here comes with the XM Plus receiver pre-installed here. I think other receiver versions are available, as well as a no receiver version. This is I believe this is one of the first ones they've made. It's still kind of a prototype. You can see they put masking tape on here, so they're typical black tape to hold the wires down. The wires are using the plugs here, which I don't quite understand why they did that. Yeah, obviously I think you're going to get better performance by direct soldering, and of course they could have absolutely done that, because they have the motor pads, or the pads there for soldering the motor wires directly. So I think they should probably switch that design to not using the motor plugs. I know that if you do happen to burn a motor out, that it's easy to swap out that plug. But yeah, it would be better to just have it come from the factory soldered up, because that's the way the board's designed. Anyway, so as you can see here, the Split 3 Nano board is that whoop style board, and it's the same. It has the same hole pattern as the flight controller, so there's no need for some extra weight for adapters and everything to get the 20x20 in there. And so I think this is the trend. RunCam is the first to come out with it. I believe Cadex is also going to come out with one for their baby turtle as well. Obviously, it makes the most sense for these style of builds. You just want the holes to match up, and so I think it's 25.5 millimeters by 25.5 millimeters. That's what the size of that board is. I don't actually have that board out to show you. I'll have that in a future video. It's a little bit different design. They have a plug there for basically a joystick controller to change your settings instead of the 2-button system they had on the other boards. And then you have that single button there for stopping and starting your recordings. Here you've got your micro SD card right there, and then they have this little 3D printed part here to hold that card in place, because it does get pinged out and crashes. That has held up pretty good. I haven't lost the card yet. I'm not sure if this is the final design or not. Maybe they'll be using, I think there's a black version of that comes with the board itself, but I think a lot of this stuff is still in, what you're seeing here is kind of prototype. The video transmitter they're using here is a 25 to 200 milliwatt power switchable video transmitter, and it does have smart audio capability, so you can do VTX remote control. And the capacitor on the power plug here is a 220 microfarad 25 volt capacitor. I believe I mentioned that in the video. On the flight controller, it comes pre-soldered onto the flight controller, as you can see here. Okay, so here's what it weighs without the battery. It's coming in at 74.8 grams, and with the battery, it's coming in at 115.5 grams. And with the battery by itself, the battery by itself is coming at 40.6 grams. I don't have the weight of the 454S. That's still on the way. I don't have that yet, so I'll have another video later when I get those in. Okay, so this came with a preliminary tune, I believe. It came with like BetaFPV 355. I'm not sure if that's the one that's going to be actually shipping or not. The tune was not good in my opinion. A lot of bounce backs and shuddering, some oscillations here and there, shaking. I think it's because of the way that they tuned the older Betaflight, and they said they had some issues with tuning it on Betaflight 4, but I was able to get a pretty decent tune on the 3S450 battery that they sent on Betaflight 405. So yeah, if you're interested in that, if it doesn't come with, I'm not sure if it's going to come with 405 or not, let me know. I guess you can leave me a message on Patreon, and if you're a Patreon, I can give you the tune I have on this one if you happen to have this particular setup. I don't know what the final production version is going to be coming with, but I'll leave a comment down in the comment section once I find out, or I'll update the description once I know which version it'll be coming with. So anyway, yeah, it's a pretty exciting trend that we got here. You know, we got these now nano cameras that can put HD video on these Toothpick style ultra lightweight micros. Gonna see a lot more of these coming pretty soon, so sit tight. Yeah, there's a whole floodgate of these coming, but this is one of the first ones. Obviously, this is going to be one of the easier ones to make because you just kind of slap on the RunCam Nano on basically on the same type of frame, just make the frame a little bit bigger. It does carry a little bit more weight. So if you're looking for ultimate performance, you probably want to stick with a traditional Toothpick with basically the analog camera. The Nano 2, I believe, is what a lot of people were using. But if you want HD video, then this is the way to go. The performance isn't really all that bad. It's about 8 grams extra over a regular type of setup. But yeah, some of you guys out there that are performance freaks are probably going to notice that 8 grams, because it is probably like 10% of the weight of the craft. So it isn't insignificant. In any event, I'll leave you with some more flight footage. I'm gonna probably have another video on this one later, and obviously as these come out, I'll have a roundup at some point down the road. So stay tuned for that. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.